Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Guys, what's the hardest part of stringing a racket? I'm going to tell you, and I got something to help you today. All right, guys, so before I get started, I'm going to take my sip of black coffee as I do every morning while I'm shooting videos and having you guys hang out with me today because I really need this cup of joe every morning. I take it black, you know, as you guys probably already know. If you want to support my black coffee habit, join a network called Buy Me a Coffee. You know, how appropriate, right? So if you want to help me out, keep me awake, keep me shooting videos for you this early in the morning, it's Buy Me a Coffee / Tennis Spin. Link is on the bottom. My brain thanks you. My whole system thanks you because it keeps me up in the morning so I can shoot more videos for you. For those of you who bought me coffees already, thank you in advance. You energize me. Thank you so much. I'm talking about the hardest part of stringing a tennis racket that most people who are starting, you know, possibly people who've been even doing it for, I don't know, 3 months, 6 months, a year. The hardest part of stringing a racket is the crosses, right? I mean, the mains are easy. You just put it through and you pull the string, right? The crosses, you have to weave. You have to go up and down, up and down, up and down, under, over, under, over, under, over, and then through and then pull, right? What if that could be made easier for you? What if they can make it where it's not so hard to weave? Well, there's a tool out there now called StringWeavers, right? And what does this thing do? Well, there's a couple different sizes first to let you know. There's a 16 by 19 and an 1820. Depending upon how dense the string pattern is will depend on the size of the tool you need. So this particular one is a 16 by 19 because I mostly do 16 by 19s. So I'm going to show you how to use it on a racket right now. And it actually makes the weaving process, the string weaving process, a lot easier. Okay, so let's go on the machine. All right, so how does this thing work? Well, there's a lever on the top, right? As you can see on the bottom, there's these teeth here, right? So I'm gonna move the teeth one and it pushes down on one side. And then when I do the next cross, I push it down on the other side. So it basically gives me a pathway to kind of push the cross through to make the weaving process more defined, as you can call it. So how do I install this though? So in the middle position, right, where all the teeth are pretty much level, I'm going to go to my racket and center it. Okay, so it's down. I'm gonna lock it in so it doesn't pop out. Okay, so I'm still centered, but it won't pop out now. Okay, and locking is really easy. Just shift it to one side and it locks in. See, it's on an automatic lock system here. See, it moves right now. So I'm locked in. I'm gonna start the process. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip it to whichever way you want, right? And I just turned it that way. And as you can see, the strings are now more defined. The higher strings and the lower strings. So I'm going to take my cross. I'm going to show you on this other side too. You see how that is right there? I'll take my cross and start stringing. Okay, so what happens now? What happens now? I just kind of go through the middle, right? Is that what I do? I go through the middle. So I'm just gonna, all right, so I'm basically just gonna run down the middle, okay? I don't need to go over or under. I'm just basically running down the middle. All right, get into the other side. Okay. I'm gonna need my plier now because that knot hole's in my way, but all right, so I've just did my first cross. As you can see, this is correct. This is under, over, under, over. At the end, it's opposite of this. So that is correct, okay? Now, I'm gonna run the next one through, okay? But what I'm gonna do now though, after I ran the first one through, I'm gonna hold it in place, put it up, and then put it towards the other side, okay? And I'm gonna run the other side through. So that is, I gotta go over that, which means I have to go under this, right? But that's raising up for me a little bit, so it's helping me, right? So I'm gonna just push it pretty much just right down the middle of these. So I don't need to worry about up and down too much. I'm just pushing it right through the middle, okay? And then getting it to the end. Yeah, I'm trying to make it so that you guys can see. So I've got a strange angle right now, and this string isn't helping me for sure. Ready? All right, so I'm getting to the other side, right? So I'm through. Well, the other good thing is there's not gonna be any rubbing too much because it's kind of spaced out for you. Okay, so I'm done here, right, with my first two. So I'm gonna go back to center with it, right? I'm gonna move it down a little bit, and then I'm gonna go the other side now, okay? Before I do that, I'm gonna just tie a knot, do a starting knot here. All right, so on my third cross, it's still gonna be easy. I'm just gonna go right down the middle again, right? Easy. Like weaving has never been so easy, right? Goes right through, goes right through. I'm at the other side. And there's no friction whatsoever while I'm pulling these strings. I'm gonna tension. Tension that. So I'm here, right? And you can slide this up and down as you do this. So don't need to worry about that. So I'm gonna bring it back to center, go the other side now, right? As you see, it just opened it up for me to just kind of push it down the middle, as you can see. Sorry, I'm gonna get a better angle for you. As you can see, all I'm doing is going right down the middle. So if you are thinking about stringing your own rackets, or if you want to just make the job easier for your fingers, this is a great tool. I mean, look at that. I'm actually blowing through it pretty quickly. My fingers are loving me for it. So I'm just finishing up now. Look at this. No friction, no tension, right? I'm here, back to center, right? That's all I need to do. After every cross, I flip to the other side, and it's gonna make the whole process that much easier. I'm just so used to doing that, but all I have to do is just push down the middle. Push down the middle. And so on back. Do the same thing here. So I can move it out of the way too. I can still feel the difference. I mean, if I go closer, obviously it's going to be more defined. As I go further, it's going to be a little less defined. But it depends on how big your hands are, how big your fingers are. But I mean, there's nothing to this. Look at this. There's nothing to this. No friction. Easy peasy. All right. Just about finishing up here. So, looks like I got a couple more crosses. Just trying to push it through the middle like I'm doing. And get to the other side. Okay, I'm there. Tension this up. Straighten it up. So I'm at the end of the racket and I'm almost done. How many more crosses do I have left? I've got one. So basically, I'm gonna have to take it off at this point. Back to neutral, do a quick shift, take it out, and then finish up my racket. But pretty much, I got through pretty much the whole racket except for just right at the end where I had to just, because it would have been in my way. But this actually is a easy string tool for anybody to use. For those of you who have problems weaving, this is a great tool for you. So if you want to start stringing, you might want to invest in something like this, because everybody can do the mains. The crosses are the hard part. They you know, they pretty much make your fingers like mine. But if you want to make it easier for yourself and make sure you don't skip the wrong holes, this thing will help you out a lot. Okay, it's called a StringWeaver, and you can get these at StringWeavers.com. It definitely helped me out today, so it'll probably help you out whenever you want to string too. Okay. Thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.